Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bruce back on July 15th, 2020 in Nogales, Sonora, Mexico, Colonia, Solidaridad. I was going to start out in the street, but a couple of my neighborhood friend dogs showed up, which, made my dog bark constantly. So with the noise, I wouldn't have been able to do any narrative in peace. So I gave them a little bit of food and then closed up so he'd calm down. So you won't get a shot from the street, but if you've been following my videos, you've seen it all along because I've been doing updates. But the important thing is that we just expanded our living space. So I'm starting here in the garage, and I believe I covered in the last one that I don't have the company car in here, so this little Ranger of mine doesn't have to be parked all the way to the left, leaving very little room to get to the washing machine, the dryer, stationary tub. And the Explorer doesn't have to be parked all the way to the right against the Kia, leaving room in the middle for the company vehicle. So because of COVID-19, I've been pretty much functioning from here at home, and I put the car in storage too. It was very inexpensive to do that, and it loosened up here. So there is a video, kind of a still video of how the house looked when I met my wife in 2006. And of course the garage wasn't here, this was just a hillside. So the first thing we did was build the garage, which makes construction on everything else much easier because I have a place for tools and I have a place to do projects with the tools and so forth, which has made it a lot easier to do everything else. Although in the early days when we came here and we didn't have all this stuff from California in the garage or in the house, we enjoyed the time we spent here. Spent probably 50 days a year over here, weekends and so forth, and holidays, and we were real happy in the 2 rooms. But once we decided to live here full time and liquidate everything in California, it got to be very cramped. So we made a quantum leap in space, and that's the purpose of this video. And as I said, if you've been watching, you've seen this platform, and you remember it was full of stuff. It had a lot more stuff on it than now. My desk was right here, and I've moved it, and there's a wooden cabinet with things on it. That's going to get moved upstairs. I don't know if I'm going to do it today, later, but I'll get to it. So anyhow, let's keep going. It rained today, so it's a little overcast. I didn't really want to do this on a dreary day, but we have to take what we can get. So I'm going to do a perimeter walk around real quickly. Last time I had captured the concrete pump and concrete truck pumping, and they were pouring the roof on this addition. So since then, we've had the windows installed. And I know this is going to look odd to Americans, but over here, pretty much everyone has protectors on the windows. And they used to be the bars, which were ugly. So now they've gone to this square design. It's a little more aesthetic. I mean, it still kind of gives the appearance of incarceration, but once the house is all finished and there's color on the outside, you'll see we've looked at a lot of the $1 million homes over here, and they have the same kind of ironwork. So I've never gotten used to the elevation yet, so I'm huffing and puffing a little bit. Bear with me. So this is the main sewer for the house, the drain. I have this vent, but these other bathrooms are going to connect into this, but below ground. All this fill was here so they could access this area with a wheelbarrow for materials and so forth. So let's just keep going, and I'll try to catch the inside without angering my wife too much. You know, she has all her little plants lined up here on the patio, which are probably the most attractive part of the house right now, because we have to have all this building material here. I mean, that hasn't changed. We still have a third floor to build, and all of that form lumber and support lumber is necessary. And we have masonry sand under this tarp, and it's covered so that it doesn't absorb water and become too heavy for the house to support. Pretty much when you're building like this, you know, the trucks come with sand and gravel to the street down below. They dump it, and we shovel it into 5-gallon plastic buckets like this one and connect it to this hook on the end of the pulley, and one person down below brings it up and the people catch it. It's a lot easier than people walking up and down the steps. I mean, it would just be a backbreaker. So, and I had the time when it was delivered, so I went down. I think, you know, we've used a lot of it, but it was about 5 tons each of sand and gravel. And I went down with a shovel, and I shoveled probably 3/4 of it till I was about to drop, and then the young guys kind of took mercy on me and they took over and helped. But you know, they asked, how old are you? And I said, well, almost 66. And they said, you can still shovel like that. Well, I used to do it for a living. That's how I paid for college. So you've seen this front before, you know, and I have that temporary chimney pipe I ran because it's cold over here in the winter time, and it was convenient to have that wood burning stove in the kitchen, but that chimney's not always going to be there. I mean, if I do it, it's going to be off in a corner, but for the moment, you know, the way things were, it was convenient. So let's go inside. So the kitchen is substantially less crowded than it used to be. And of course we started peeling the old paint, and we just had that doorway made, you know, and I had it covered that we were going to do that. But pretty much the fixtures here all look the same. There's the gas cylinder for cooking. We spend about $10 a year on gas I'm sorry, $60 all year for gas, 2 cylinders, so $5 a month. And my wife has her stereo, you know, that part didn't disappear, but there were shelves, you know, full of stuff against the wall. It was really cramped here. And of course, I'm going to have to turn this volume down on the television. Bear with me. So, if you remember from previous videos, this was our bedroom. And this is all the house was this little kitchen and this little bedroom. And then of course the bathroom back here, which was just an L piece off of the house. And everything behind this wall was dirt. You know, behind this wall in the bathroom, and behind this wall, and behind the kitchen wall, they built right into the hillside. So we had a moisture problem because there was nothing to keep the water from running against that wall. And I thought, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I had them dig this out, and they put this addition on and just attached. So this wall in the back was always here. And I figured, you know, you want room in the kitchen, make yourself a pantry. So all of this stuff you see used to be stored in the kitchen. Now there's room to move, and this has become a pantry. Now granted, nothing here is finished. These walls are all going to get a finish coat and paint eventually, but that's the last thing with which we're concerned. What we're concerned with now is having the living space, and of course with COVID-19, we're not going to have workers in here for a year or more, so we figured why not spread out, and we'll deal with moving this stuff a room at a time when it's time to do the finish work. Now some of this will be repetition, but I just figured from here on out you'll get to see the quantum leap in progress. So this staircase leads to the second floor. Of course there are no railings, and right where you see this rebar, that's going to be a staircase that goes up this wall and connects with that rebar, and it will access the third floor. That temporary cover was just a sloped roof with old corrugated steel that we had from the old wooden house that was behind here, and it's keeping the rain out of this stairwell. So we turn left, and the entire 2 rooms that were down below are the size of this master bedroom. And you'll recognize that closet, which used to be downstairs. It's now here. And of course the bed with room to dance all around. Last night we went out, bought these curtains, and I hung the rods. So it's pulled back now so that the cool air comes through the fans. And bit by bit we've moved some of the furniture. My wife's original furniture set was this white color, and we don't have another dresser, so we're borrowing that. Eventually, and this is unfinished, this will be the master bath. This entire front area is just for a sink and a commode, and this entire area will be a shower. But of course there's excavating to do, there's plumbing to be installed. The plumbing has to go through the wall and out to the drain that I showed you. Shower has to be put in, faucets. There's a lot of work involved, and we're not in a hurry. We have a functioning bathroom, and that's enough for the moment. So coming back to where I came up the steps, continue down the hallway, and this is all new, these concrete floors. This will be the guest bathroom, and it's material storage right now, but there will be a wall in the middle. You can't really see it very well with the lighting. I'll try to help a bit. But there will be a wall that divides it for a shower over by the window, and then the commode and the sink in this area. And some of these blocks will be used to actually build that walk-in shower. And then my wife set up this guest room. So that headboard to the bed is part of that furniture set, and one piece is still downstairs with the television on it in what is now the living room. It used to be the bedroom. And that little chest of drawers will end up in the master bedroom. And eventually we'll put that dresser that matches over here in this area. But right now everything is pretty much make do. You know, we're doing whatever we need to do to make it convenient to use it, because it's going to be at least a year before it's safe to have people coming in. Now, another thing, I've been using the kitchen table for an office. That's what I really missed. And this bedroom, which will be a guest room eventually, right now is serving as my office. I haven't had my desk with a computer and anything for a long time. And now it's just a great feeling to have an office again and not have to tie up the kitchen. And I've been gathering little things like my printer and pencil sharpener and little items and setting them back in. That other chest of drawers that I use for a stationary cabinet is going to go in this area. So, and of course, you know, window at the end of the hall for lighting. Now, there's no permanent electrical here yet. That's why the extension cords and the drop lights. You know, I had one circuit that I was able to pull into the bedroom in the front. And so at night, you know, if we're doing things here, we have light. And again, that's how it is. All of these little plastic conduits that you see coming out of the wall, like this one, and there's another one here. So we get a shot of it with the light. It's tough here. Light this up. There's one here where a switch will go. You know, and of course doors. We're using all steel doors, but the doors will go on each of these rooms. So the conduits are all run. I just need to put a central electrical supply box in, and once I do that, then the wires can be run and the outlets and the switches can be installed. But again, you know, we're not in a hurry. We're just happy to have some space. I mean, we took a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with 2 garages full of stuff and jammed everything over here into the garage and the little house. It was tough. Now, this is a real luxury for us. And you know, the fact that we have bare block walls everywhere that aren't covered yet with plaster coating and painted, we don't really care. This ceiling, just the way it is, will be sprayed with acoustic later. But right now, that styrofoam forming and the beams are visible and not important to us. We're fine with it. So you can see where the light boxes are set. But that will be the next step, is to have the electrician come in and do that. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and as we make progress, I'll make another. Thank you.